they're in the path for whatever reason.
They seem to be,
Same happened a few years ago. Yeah,
this is the sweet spot right here.
I know.
Honestly, it sort of is. Well, it sort of is.
The fourth.
I've heard.
When you do it.
Yeah.
It brings them. Isn't anything. I mean, 90.
My dad always thought. Is it like the fourth, is it the Bone River or something? The fourth is the reason why we don't get tornadoes. Because how long has it been since one has actually been in Webster City?
Every time.
And the halls, forget that.
Here.
Tyler said, oh, we're built on a hill. It's awful.
Memphis got hit,
The game.
and they have the Mississippi, so, and they.
Yeah, but they're- So.
They
The river.
Yeah.
There's a bend.
There's a bend.
There's a bend.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not getting.
Yeah, so you.
And maybe there is a fifth river, you get them. Nobody can throw it in the track. We haven't done cleanup yet, but we don't know where.
Picked up force.
Have you before?
Yes.
See, so maybe I.
On the power transmissions.
Not the white stuff, it doesn't say. Park.
Get one of those huge magnets that are going in, but there's actually a fork. Ocean fork. There's an east fork of the.
You magnet?
That's a. So. Yeah.
I'll call the July 15th city council meeting to order. Call the roll.
Here.
John Hopkins,
Here.
Megan McFarland, here, Matt McKinney, here, Logan Welch,
Here.
Pledge of allegiance.
But allegiance will be live. And the republic which stands. Under God. Indivisible. With liberty and justice for all.
Should approve the agenda.
Second.
All those in favour say aye. Item 1, petitions, communications and requests. This is the time of the meeting that the citizen may address the council on a matter not on the agenda. Except in case of emergency, the city council might take any action at this meeting. May ask the staff to research the matter or have the matter placed on the agenda for a future meeting. Due to technical difficulties, the meeting tonight is not live streamed on Facebook. It will be available tomorrow on the city's various social media platforms. Eric, you got anything for us? No? Thank you. 2 minutes, claims, reports and licenses. The following items have been deemed non-controversial routine actions to be approved by the council in a single motion. If a council member or a member of the audience wishing to have an item removed from this list, we're considered in its normal sequence on the agenda. I have A, minutes of July 1st, regular city council meeting for July 8th, special city council meeting. Yeah, special city council meeting. P is claims, including payroll ending June 29, and the fund list. C is reports for the wastewater electric water for June, police department activity report for June, and citations by approach for June, fire department report for June.
Move to approve collectively.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Oops, we'll get a second.
okay,
Give it a second. Yeah.
I didn't say it.
You want to do the 6.5, doesn't matter. Resolution approving and confirming plan specification. I know this one. B, resolution authorising the solicitation of bids and setting a public hearing, furnishing a 69 kV control panels for the Rising substation for September 3rd at 6:05 PM. This is for doing the
B first.
We're doing B first?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. It's
But it's not 6:05.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
You're all right.
I'm just catching it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mayor and City Council, what you have is a request to seek bids and schedule a public hearing for materials associated with the Reisner substation. As you are aware, we've had several bidding packages come through. This is going out, not awarding it, and it is for the 69 kV control panels. So it is a portion of the broader project that you authorized during the budget. And the engineering firm, as well as Mr. Dickinson, is requesting that we put this out to bid and hold a public hearing on September 23rd. September 3rd, thank you, to consider and receive those bids and determine whether or not to award it. The total project estimate for the control panels is $264,000. Of that amount, Webster City is responsible for $64,000, with the remaining approximately $200,000 being the responsibility of Corn Belt Power Cooperative. So these funds will initially be paid for by the city, but then will be fully reimbursed by Corn Belt, at least to their portion, the $200,000. Bid opening is August 21st, 2024, and then the estimated delivery of these panels would be in May of 2025. So we do request that you set the hearing for September 3rd.
Okay. Go for a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Listen up now.
Okay.
The public hearing on proposed, public hearing on proposed plan specifications, proposed formal contract and estimate of costs for the municipal building HVAC system replacement project. I'll open the hearing. Are there any written objections?
Received no written objections.
Are there any oral objections?
No oral objections presented.
Close the hearing. Okay, John.
All right, so this resolution approves and confirms the plan specifications, form and contract and estimate of cost for the replacement of the municipal HVAC system, as well as awards the contract to the lowest bidder, who is Peterson Construction, in the amount of $467,000. A little bit of background on May of 2024, the council authorized staff to seek bids for the replacement of the municipal building's HVAC system. The current HVAC, as you probably already know and have reviewed plans of, is in need of replacement. The existing boiler was built in 1985, as well as we have 38 other units on this building that have been replaced or repaired. We also need to comply with DNR mandate regarding moving the discharge from the boiler from the sewer system to the stormwater system. We did enter into an agreement with Brewer Engineering and Consultants, who was planning to be here tonight, but was a little fearful of the weather. Brewer did recommend replacing this. So the total estimated cost of the project after his review was $600,000. Peterson provided the lowest three bids in the amount of $467,000. We are intending to borrow for this project and bring you that package, I believe in August sometime, will be packaged with the Fairmeadow 1 anticipated debt issue. And that would be paid out of the debt service fund. In conversations with Suzanne Gerlach and Doty today, there was ample levy in the fund to handle that without any impact to the levy for next year's budget. It's also consistent with the budgets that you adopted in the earlier this year for the 24-25 budget. So we, just for interest, we did receive three bids. Peterson at $467,000, Mechanical Comfort at $478,000, and Stein Heating and Cooling at $533,000. You will notice that there were some differences in the times to complete, but Brewer did review the bids and recommended that it be awarded to Peterson. So we do recommend that you adopt the resolution, and I can answer any questions that you might have.
Is the boiler discharge going to the sanitary sewer?
At
Is
the
that?
moment it goes to the storm sewer. It's going to go to the sanitary sewer.
Okay.
He had it the wrong way around.
To me,
Oh, did I mess up when I said
to
that?
me, did,
My
no,
apologies.
I don't think he did, but,
Yeah, he did. He said it.
okay, all right, well.
You should.
At the moment it goes.
Okay. Thanks for catching that.
Okay, I call for a resolution approving and confirming plan specifications, formal contract estimate of costs for the municipal building HVAC system replacement project and awarding the contract to Peterson Construction in the amount of $467,100 and committing necessary funds to complete the project.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
Item C is a resolution authorising the city manager to sign and execute change order number 6 with Peterson Construction for the Wilson Brewer Courthouse Structural Improvement Project.
Thank you. This is a project that the council is familiar with related to renovations at the Hamilton County Courthouse, which is located at the Wilson Brewer Historic Park. There have been a few change orders related to this project that are identified in the memorandum that was presented to the council. The change order number 6, which is being submitted tonight for approval, is related to siding. This change order includes 562 square feet of siding that was marked for replacement along the window, door, and corners. Addendum number 1 calls to replace 210 square feet, and change order number 5 replaced 40. Change order 6 is requesting the replacement of the remaining 312 square feet of siding and marked trim and caulk siding at the corners and trim. Painting is included in the original contract. The cost increase is approximately $9,500. As you are aware, the Hamilton County Board of Supervisors deposited a sum of money into an account at the Hamilton County Foundation that has funded this restoration. That is the source of these funds. We are a pass-through because of our ownership of the park where the county courthouse is located. And so it does add costs to the project. But my understanding is the funding is available and the funding will be drawn down at or around the time of payment of the invoice. So we do recommend approving the change order. And in summary, it's got to do with the siding on the side of the building. And I believe there are more coming down the pipe.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Aye.
I don't know if that, does that change? This be the last one we do with a new board set up on.
That's a great question. I was wondering that myself.
Yeah,
I think that might be.
on Wednesday, we're meeting to set up the new board, I believe, so
The foundation.
for the foundation, for the Wilson Brook Park Foundation. It could be the last.
Yep.
Item D is resolution setting time and place for a public hearing on proposal to amend the Code of Ordinances, the City of Webster City, Iowa, 2019, pertaining to Chapter 10, Article 2, Division 1, Section 10-29, entitled International Property Maintenance Code, for August 5th at 6:05 p.m. Good evening, Mariel.
Mayor. So this is an item that we currently have adopted, the 2021 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code. This did go to P&Z at the beginning of this month for their review, and with their recommendation, we're looking at re-adopting this code. We have found that it's been difficult in enforcing property maintenance throughout the community. Trying to be more proactive with this, and with that, I did late this evening provide the amendments that we're looking at. So with this ordinance, it refers to several codes, but the main focus on this is updating it to state the codes that we have actually adopted, such as the electrical code, the building code, international residential code. So those are the amendments, as well as inserting our code, how we handle the enforcement of this and any municipal infractions. We also inserted Webster City to this so that it would reference our community, of course, and then also just our, like I stated, our code sections such as 8 inches for weeds and grass, and then also those code references that we, if you look on page 4, we have adopted the Uniform Plumbing Code rather than the International Plumbing Code, so we're just making sure that those are all correct references, and then added in dates to our region so that it would be appropriate for our. So at this time, I'm just requesting to set the public hearing for August 5th at 6:05.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favour say aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. Item E is a resolution approving Iowa DOT Railroad Revolving Loan and Grant Program for railport planning and development studies, committing matching funds to conduct the railport study and authorizing the city manager to approve such grant application.
Thanks, Mayor and Council. This is a application certainly for your consideration. It is a opportunity for you to consider. It's not something that we necessarily have to proceed with, but this grant became available in speaking with some of our economic development partners. The idea or possibility of having a rail port is something that could serve as a marketing tool for certain types of businesses, certainly because we are served by two railroads, that opportunity becomes more real. And we have also seen in other areas of the state, like Waverly, Shell Rock, Manly, even in Fort Dodge, the additional rail service in different areas have sparked some development. Just a couple corrections in the resolution for section 2 says the 20% matching funds for the railport planning study estimated to be $40,000. That really should be $20,000. That was a late change in when the agenda was coming out. And so I don't know how that got through. And then page 1 of 6 in the application, the overall study cost is $120,000. The grant request was 100, and then the matching funds were 20. And the local fundings below that were then also 20. So I apologize for that. Just some other background information. Really, the purpose of the study would be to identify both local and non-local businesses in and around Webster City whose operations could be improved with the addition of rail service. If or once identified, the study would investigate 4 sites, and we have some geographically laid out in the application. Those aren't necessarily the final sites for the study, but they are areas that have either been considered in the past or were mentioned as possible sites. To determine which of the sites would be most operationally or cost feasible for construction of a railport facility. So that's really the purpose of the study. It's anticipated that if there was some type of rail spur or rail facility, it would be shared by numerous entities as they are in different locations of the state. There is a map with the locations identified in and around Webster City. All of the sites are adjacent to either the Canadian National Railway or the Union Pacific. All of the sites would be able to serve multiple clients. All are fairly readily served by, half of them are readily served by water and sewer and electricity. The other 2 simply have rural electricity at this time. Of course, our goals would be to evaluate the demand, rail operational feasibility, roadway connections, property availability, and potential economic benefits if a private company determined to construct a rail port in conjunction with maybe some state programs, grants, and other private partners. We really need to know if there's an actual demand. That is something that the study would pursue. The demand is sort of identified by potential customers, volumes, and types of the railroads, terminals, and industrial services required. There will be a committee established of institutional stakeholders. That includes Webster City, Hamilton County, local businesses, IDOT, the Canadian National and Union Pacific Railroads, the Iowa Area Development Group, as well as the Ames Regional Economic Alliance. This study would be performed by Snyder and Associates, who's familiar with the community. I think the council is familiar with their work. That is pretty much an overview of the application. As I mentioned, it is we saw this come across IDOT. It was issued by IDOT earlier this year. In some of our discussions just locally we've heard that these can be beneficial. If it's an opportunity you'd like to pursue, we certainly can. If it's something that you're sort of iffy on or don't know, then we can pass, but wanted to bring the opportunity to your attention.
Is it, do we spend the 20,000 if we don't get the grant?
No, we do not. No. And and before we would accept the grant, you would have to come back and formally accept the grant.
Well, it's, yeah, I think it's worth trying, so.
Me too.
Mhm.
So you want to approve the resolution with that change?
Yeah, those,
20% matching,
yes,
20%.
The 20%, yep.
20,000, up to 20,000 instead of 40,000.
yep, just 20. And that was the last change, Carol, so that's my fault.
It was, actually, I thought it was 20 because the way I read it all.
Yeah.
All right. So you want to just change the resolution approving it?
The resolution on.
It doesn't have an amount on it.
Attachment E is correct. It has the 20.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
The
what.
first resolution has 40, but the one that's attached to the grant is 20,000, so it's already been corrected on there.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
All those in favor say aye. Call for a motion to adjourn. In favor say aye. Thanks, everybody. Bob, did you want a copy of the ordinance or the?
Ariel, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. Eric,
Carol, you'll be the.
What are you gonna do the rest of the night? Thank you. You haven't eaten yet, huh?
Delete it.
Yeah.
Going out or going
Like, like stuff like we should just put like on our. And then switching